Hello my crafty friends, it's Crystal with Happy to Plan. I'm going to be doing my third video in my I'm following Gayle's tutorial for her little golden books. So I have the 5 golden books laid out. I cut all the papers. In my last one, I selected the papers and then I kind of built a signature in my last one. And then this one is kind of dealing with all of the different fabrics that are going to go into the pockets. So let me just show you kind of what I've put together. So again, following Gayle's tutorials, that's kind of what she did. She did a fabric flip, 2 belly bands, and then one going horizontal, one going vertical, and then she did a pocket as well. So that's kind of the plan for each of the books. So for this one, I kind of already started. I got the fabric flip done for this one, and I just glued on some ribbon here at the top and this other little piece. This was one of the pieces, and then another little piece that had some reindeer on it. So I'm going to be using this kind of as a guide for the other 4 books, for like the sizing and stuff. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm just going to work on kind of an assembly line and getting all of the fabric flips done. I have quite a bit of Christmas fabric here. I bought a bundle at Tuesday morning last year actually, and then I picked this up at Walmart. I just picked this one up at Walmart for 97 cents. And I just thought this was really super cute, and since I'm doing kind of golden books, I figured putting cute little fabric in would be a good thing. So I'm not sure how I'm going to use this yet, but I picked that one up. So I'm going to just pick out which one I want the flip to be, and then kind of go from there. Alright, so I had to switch to a voiceover, and I had to do this on fast mode because it was taking me a little bit longer than I expected it to take me. I'm just so picky when it comes to things like this, especially if I'm going to sell them. I just want them to look their best. So I am going to just kind of walk through what I'm doing as I do it, and then we'll continue on with the video after I'm done with this part. Alright, so I have some of that that crocheted vintage lace. That is actually vintage lace that I'm working with, that kind of brown colored lace. And I was really trying to make that little piece with the pine cones work, and it just, I don't know why I kept like wanting it to work, but it just wasn't working. So I just went ahead and ditched that and scrapped that idea. And I had that red satin ribbon and that green satin ribbon, and just kind of playing with it, kind of seeing if it's working. And eventually I figured out that the reason that it really wasn't working is because it was going across the page, across the fabric, instead of vertical. So it wasn't really working because it wasn't going with the design of the fabric, because the Christmas tree is vertical and I was covering up the star and stuff. So when I turned it on its side, it worked out perfectly. And then with this one, it was kind of the same thing, because I didn't really want to cover up the little cardinals there. I wanted to make sure that I accented those, so I ran this lace down the center and then used another piece of my fabric with the snowflakes on it, and then some of that rickrack as well. And then that one's pretty much done. And then when I was sitting there, I was like, that's just, I feel like it's missing something. So I pulled out some of my buttons. You'll see here I'm going to dump out a bunch of them actually. I have quite a few buttons. That whole button pack I actually got at the Dollar Tree. So if you're ever at the Dollar Tree and you love buttons as much as I do, make sure you check out like their front counters. Usually it's like underneath and their front counters. But anyway, I picked out a couple of those buttons, and then I also found this little heart button, so I decided to put that one on that one. And then, so now that I did buttons on those 2, I'm going to do buttons on all of them. I think the only one that doesn't have buttons is the reindeer one. Alright, so there's another
thing about trying to use fabric. So again, I was trying to like double it up and try to use this fabric, and I was like, I really wanted to use that lace piece, and I really liked that lace piece. Again, that lace piece is also vintage. And I was trying to, you could see here, I was trying all different things, and I'm like, why am I doing that? Why am I trying to use this piece so badly? So I just decided to ditch that piece, and then I found this really cute button that had the little thing where you can string in the ribbon. So I used some of that green ribbon and just weeded that button through, and ultimately did not end up using that button. I used a different button that I found later on when I was looking at my buttons, but basically it's the same thing. And then I have this crocheted piece of fabric here that I got at the Walmart. I got this piece of fabric, I think I got the whole yard for like maybe $1. And I am so in love with this fabric because it's kind of cool because you can cut it the way I was cutting it, and it keeps its shape. It doesn't like fray. And so I liked it with the brown contrasting with the pine cones on this fabric. And then of course I had to get some buttons out, so I poured out my big button box. Oh, there you go. There's the other piece. I used that one instead of the other one because it was a little bigger and it was the better color for that fabric. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that glued on, and then I'm going to glue on my buttons. And then, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get some gluing done just because I had kind of the designs ready, so I wanted to get some of them glued down so they can be drying before I sewed them on. And I was thinking about sewing them on, but then with the button situation, I didn't ultimately sew them on, but I'll get to that in a minute. Alright, so I'm getting those all prepared and ready. Just getting those glued down, and then I am using Fabri-Tac glue. It's pretty much the glue everybody that I watch uses, so I joined the bandwagon and started using it. And I really do like it. It's really good glue and very strong, and it works with fabric and paper as well. Alright, so once I got those glued down, I'm going to get that ribbon glued down. I was thinking about sewing that ribbon, but then I'm like, yeah, it's too hard with the button. I'll just glue it. Just makes it easier. And I like how that one turned out. It's pretty simple, but I think it's still really pretty with that, that fabric and the lace ribbon there. Okay. Alright, so now you can see here that I'm going to go ahead and get everything glued down, and I just decided to go ahead and glue it into the books there at the top just so that it flips up. And then I'm also gluing on those buttons. And then I'm going to get everything glued down here, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into my fabric pockets and belly bands. And those I'm just going to be showing you because, again, the design process took a long time.
So the plan for each of the journals is to do the fabric flips, which I showed you already in the video. And then so on this side, what I want to do is I want to do a belly band going this way across the page. I'm not sure if this one is too thick, but I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. And what I decided to do was I cut some of this fabric that had the Santa Claus on it, and I just really wanted to use it as kind of a just like the presents and stuff at the bottom. So I'm going to use this little piece of crochet here, crocheted ribbon at the top just to kind of accent the presents. And then I'm going to take this green ribbon. I bought this at, I think I either bought it at Joann's or Hobby Lobby. And it's cute because it has these little hoops on the loops on the side. So I'm just going to put that kind of right here at the top just to bring in some more green to that page. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew this all on. I think I'm going to glue the fabric to this piece of paper, but I feel like I need to cut it, just trim it just a little bit on this side first. I'm just going to take my glue, and all I'm going to do is kind of run it kind of around the edge, but not too close to the edge because I still want my sewing to go around the edges. I'm trying to figure out if I just want to glue this piece on or if I want to stitch it. Because what I'm thinking maybe I'll do is actually put it on top and then stitch down the center. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I think I'll also, and then I'll go ahead and stitch it to the page like that. But let me get that centered stitch done first. Okay, and then I just stitched it down the center. I just used some brown, like tan stitches. I think that's basically what I'm going to use, just to give it some contrast from the fabrics. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to stitch down the center, or stitch down both of these edges, and then call that done. Okay, so now I've got that stitched up. Let me just trim off some of these things here. I'm just gonna grab this and just show you that it's stitched and it's like a little belly band. And I did do a zigzag stitch on the sides here, so I did make the paper just a little bit shorter so that when I zigzagged it, it didn't go off the edge, and then it also didn't go into the fold line. So yeah, so there's the pocket for that one. There's the pocket for that one, and I mean the tuck for this one and the flip for this one. And then this is kind of what I came up with for the two pieces here. And I'm going to do the gluing again around the edges to kind of get the fabric on. This one, since it's going to be, I'm going to go towards the edge there and then not quite towards the edge on that side. And then get this glued on. All right, so then that will be the belly band going this way. And what I decided to use, this is a piece of lace. I think it was actually off a headband from Walmart, if I remember correctly. And then I just have this little piece of satin ribbon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just weed in this satin ribbon in between these little holes. And then my thought process was just to put it in the center here. So I think the question is, do I want to sew it across the edge or do I want to glue it? I think I just want to glue it and then just have the sewing at the top and the bottom. So let me get this glued on. I'm just putting a little touch of glue just to get this lace kind of tacked down a little bit. And then I'm just going to go in with my scissors. Actually, I think I'll use my pinking shears. And I'm going to try to match up the line so that when I cut it, it'll be the same. There. Now I think I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to tack these pieces down a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna set that aside and let that dry for just a minute and then work on the pocket. So this one will be the belly band, and then this will be the pocket at the bottom. And I'm using the salvaged edge here. You can see that there's little lines because it is the salvaged edge. But the nice thing about this is it's not like a white edge, it's just a regular edge. So I'm going to just glue this on there like I have been, just around the edges. This one I'm actually going to go all the way to the top and then not quite around to the edges because it's going to be a pocket. I'm going to be sewing there and I don't want my sewing machine needle to go through that glue. And then I'm just going to cover up that salvage edge with some lace, but this I definitely want to sew on there. So I'm going to sew just across the edge of this, and then I'll get all of the pieces sewn on. Okay, so this is the fabric pocket here, and then the tuck is right here. So with the pocket, I did zigzag stitch all the way around, and then with the tuck I just stitched straight across. So these are the two for the Christmas ones. So I'm going to go ahead and get them into the book. And kind of what Gayle does on her channel, on her video, when she's making her journals, she just kind of puts it, she kind of like puts it cockeyed so that she knows where it's supposed to go. So this one goes here, and this could go back in here, and then this one for this one. Perfect. All right. So those two are done. I went ahead and stitched everything up and got everything in. So I'm just going to show you really quickly all the different ones. So this is the flip, and then this is the pocket. Grab a piece of paper so I can show you. This is the pocket, and then, I'm sorry, that's the tuck spot. Here's the pocket, and then that's the belly band for this side. So I'm going to go ahead and get it in this book. So I'm going to do the flip on the first signature in the front, and then on the back, the second signature, I'm going to put the pocket and the vertical belly band. So that one's for the puppy's first Christmas, and then for the Christmas story, again, I'm going to put the flip. Here is the flip and the pocket. I love how this pocket turned out. So there's that. I love the pocket with the browns of the paper. So I'll probably want to put, when I put something in here, I want to really pop some red in there or something. But, oops, this is the wrong way. Wait. I've got this the wrong way. Okay, okay. Figured it out. Okay, and then put the flip in there, and the front one, and then the pocket and the belly band in the back. And here is the Christmas Night Before Christmas one, and this one is the Santa Claus one. So I used a reindeer pocket and then a little Santa on the flip, on the tuck belly band, and then on the flip I have a Christmas tree with a little Santa, and then this is the belly band in here. So that's going to be like that. And this one is going to go in here. And then this one has this flip and this belly band here. And then here's the pocket for this one and the belly band for this one. So we're just going to get these in the book, and then we're going to call this video done. Got all the, oops, I'm going to have to glue this down a little bit in that pocket. All right. So there are all of the belly bands and pockets and flips that we did for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I will see you again real soon. Bye for now.